it's a matter of the actuality of life, the entire field of human experience, the diversity of sentient kind, and all that we see here from the far heavens above to this earth below, all of it is reliant, is dependent on the causes and conditions for it to arise without exception. Why is it when I drop the watch, or I lose whatever item it may be, or it breaks down, or it changes, or it gets stolen, or whatever, what is it that's stopping me from seeing quietly and clearly, wisely, this arose in the field of time, still staying with the watch here, this stayed in the field of time, and this passed in the field of time. So a practice of exploration and inquiry is seeing this clearly, because there is no, in this world of things, people and things, there is no exception. If there was an exception, that which stayed, which we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, felt, thought about and experienced, that which stayed, if it was not dependently arising, it would be independently arising. It would arise of itself. And it would not need anything. It's independently arising. So, where? What? So there is the bare watch. There is, quote unquote, the owner of the watch. But whoa, what else is going wrapped around it? What else is being built on top of it? All of it feeding the identification, feeding the possessiveness, feeding its mind, and feeding fear of loss. Feeding it might break down. Because it's being given what it doesn't have. We forgot, it doesn't have self-existence. It never had. If it had self-existence, it couldn't change. It wouldn't be dependently arising. It's got self-existence. Nothing could affect it. It couldn't grow old, it couldn't break down, because it's got its own independent self-existence. And in the truth of all of that, one starts to look, wow, do I really want to give self-existence to something which it doesn't have? What on earth would I want to do that for? What do I want to exaggerate it to the point that that which I look at can end up giving me so much suffering and unhappiness and disappointment, just because I'm not looking at it as dependent arising, I'm looking at it as mine, as self-existent. This is the second deep truth of the Buddha here. What are the conditions which arose, that dependently arose in a situation over which the consequences the self is suffering over, unhappy, stressed out, disappointed, worried, frantic? What are the conditions that I didn't notice, and as a result this state of mind is going on? It is the exaggeration of importance of something when we're greedy, negative, fearful, worried, projecting too much, we have exaggerated its significance. We've put more onto it than what it needs or what it deserves, and actually what it is. The practice here, and here that means here in our life. Can I stop, please, just for a moment or two, and really ask oneself, honestly and deeply, really, do I really need to keep reaching out for the approval from people? Do I really need to transfer authority to the other to make me feel okay? And when the kindnesses and love come to us, which are important, they genuinely are nourishing. It can land with us, and we feel, not perfectly, feel rather fulfilled, okay, and what comes out of us is gratitude. It is appreciation for her or his kindness, for the gestures, for the words, for what she or he do for us. And we love to express that, and we love to appreciate that. Sometimes we're not seeing clearly what's going on with us. Avidya, not seeing clearly. This is a condition. We just didn't see clearly. From not seeing clearly, it touches some kind of habit. It could be to do good, something nice. It could be something unwholesome or problematic or difficult. And from the not seeing and the movement, it lands in the consciousness, in the person, in the human being, in us, in our present moment there. And this influences. So there is the dependent arising, not seeing, giving rise to a certain movement in the mind, which lands in the consciousness. It influences, affects the way of seeing, and that dependent arising of those three, not seeing, tendency, onto the consciousness, dependent arising, really affects our whole way of looking at life. And sometimes we think we are so right, we know, with a conceit and an arrogance and the self in its prime, I'm right, I know, don't argue with me. And the self has wrapped itself around the view, and one can't see it is dependently arising. And so when we have an absolutist kind of view, which is then probably blocking, pardon me, the other view, can we ask, stop, where is it coming from? What's the background to this? What is it that I didn't see and notice that I end up with this view? It's serious for our species. Every single war that ever took place could only arise because of clinging. It might be that your parents didn't give you the love that you deserved and you needed. It might be that they were selfish and just thought about everything else and really weren't available for you. He said, it might be like that. Therefore, let me show friendship and love. let me be generous, let me be available, let me practice that. I may not have received as a young, but let me, in my adult life, find ways and develop ways to be that which my parents could not offer. So this dependent arising, as I mentioned, is not a passive response to situations. It's, in a way, more of an adventurous one. And it's a way of seeing the possibilities because of change, that we can apply and bring about changes, and we really need the good wisdom and the good counsel of others. We mustn't expect ourselves to have all the answers, to understand dependent arising, to make the changes. The voice of the others really is a tremendous support, and there's a wealth of women and men on this earth who have much wisdom and insights and understanding, and we just want to keep in touch, keep listening, keep learning, see what nourishes us, to see how the best can be in that dependent arising for us there.